In today's beginner's Unity tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to do enemy movement and how to get your enemy to follow your player. So if we look in the game view, I've basically just made a little room in Unity, which has basically just been made using cube and flattening the cube and basically doing the same for the walls, but making them obviously bigger because obviously I wanted it to look like a wall. But basically that's all I've done for the rooms, is just using cubes. And then I've assigned textures to them. So I have a texture file that I made, and then I've just put all of the textures into folders. So obviously when you drag images into Unity, you do have to change the settings. It doesn't matter if we're working in a 2D game or a 3D game, the images always get converted to 2D. If you want to assign them to a specific thing in your scene, all you would do is you would click on the image and then you drag it up into the hierarchy. I'm not going to do that because I've already done it, but it's pretty simple. It's just you select what you want to put the image on, and then it would assign once you've changed the settings, just to make sure that it's like 2D. So that's what it looks like in game view. If we go to scripts, I'll show you the enemy script. So this is the enemy movement script. I called it eMove just so that I could just so that I knew what it was and what it was supposed to do. The enemy has a character controller, so I've declared that first, and then I've declared transform target, which basically is that when my enemy moves, I'm transforming whatever target it needs to go to, and I've declared a game object of player because that's what I want it to follow. I've declared a move speed of 5.0f. It could be any number, it doesn't have to be 5. I've just picked 5, but you can always change this to whatever number suits you. And then as you can see here, I've declared player, and we're finding the tag with the name player, and then we're just changing our direction and our position based on where my player is being moved. And in my enemy, I've just added a character controller, which again you can add in component, as we've done in a previous video when we added a rigid body to an object. You would just search character and then it comes up with a few things, and you would just click character controller. If I play the game so that we can test the enemy movement, you just drag the script from the lower hierarchy to the enemy or whatever you want your script to go to. If I move, you can see the enemy follows me based on my position. If I stop, he doesn't walk through me. He did walk through me at one point, but I managed to fix that problem. Pretty much what I did on my player was I added a rigid body and a box collider just so that he kind of wouldn't go through me. The rigid body is kinematic. The reason why, if kinematic isn't ticked, sometimes your player can kind of just fall through the scene and it can just continuously look like it's falling. But that's pretty much how to do enemy movement. It's not too hard. As you can see, I've also added a tag of player, as we saw in the eMove script. If I go back, obviously this line of code, player equals game tag dot find with tag of player, that looks at obviously what I've assigned the tags to here. You can add tags by going add tag, and then you can add whatever tag you want depending on what you want the enemy to look at.